All right, so we're gonna go check out reels now. We got a bunch of booths we want to go to. We've got the map and the cheat sheet everywhere we're going. We're gonna do a whole bunch of different brands, but we're gonna start off right here at Kast King and check out one of the new reels they got this year. All right, hey guys, we're at the Kast King booth. I'm with Jose, and man, we got the new iReel 2.0. And we walked by, immediately we saw the gold one in the case, but so you guys got the new iReel 2.0. Tell us what's new, what's updated with this new 2.0 iReel?
All right, so with the new iReel 2.0, the last one that we had last year was a little bit on the bulky side. It was a little bit larger, and that's because we had the microprocessor in here, but we also had the charging port down here. What we did now is that both microprocessors are actually on
the palm side.
On the palm side, inside of the plate. It's much lighter now this year because it's magnesium frame and magnesium side plates.
Okay, so you guys decreased the weight a bunch on that.
Decreased the weight by 20%.
Well, that's huge.
And we also, it's still electroplated. So it's electroplated, it's going to get, and our electroplating process is 4 times stronger than any other electroplated reel on the market.
That's cool. I mean, and just a phenomenal looking reel. Like when you can't walk by this show without stopping and picking one of those things up. And I mean, not just a cool looking reel, it feels incredibly smooth. You guys you got the drag clicker noise on there.
The drag clicker noise,
a bunch of cool features, and the brake system, super easy to adjust and dial on there.
That is, but we took the braking system and we went way off in left field with it.
What'd you guys do to the inside of it now?
So it's still the same where like we talked about last year, where the microprocessor is actually studying the spool up to 600 times a second.
Jesus.
So there's a bunch of it, we talk about linear and non-linear. Linear is what the other digital controllers are. Okay. It's going to scan the spool one time and it's going to put the same amount of pressure on it. This is doing up to 600 times a second, so it's making micro adjustments. Pulses of that braking are forever changing.
So the whole time the spool is spinning, it's reading it and making adjustments as the cast is happening in real time.
In microseconds, faster than we could ever process.
Yeah.
But then what we took it a step further also is we are the first to ever break down braking into 4 phases. We have the launch, ascend, flight, and descend.
Yes.
So we broke that into 4 different phases, and you're able to go in and change all of that. To not only your fishing style, but if you really want to get in the nuts and bolts, you can get in the weeds of every single adjustment you can make for yours.
So if you want to dial it in for making ultra long casts offshore, you can do that. But if you're someone who's just making short pitches, you probably want to have a little bit different adjustment than someone that's trying to make a long bomber cast.
A long bomb cast at the same time, you're going to have the brakes set differently for a weightless Senko.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a big, gigantic glide bait.
Yep. Super cool, and we can't not talk about the gold reel. We saw that in the best product, the best showcase this morning. But I walked by, I was like, what are they doing? I was like, I knew you guys had this reel, but what is going on with the gold reel? We got to know.
So, like I said, this is our electroplating process. This is our technology. We said, let's really show what we can do, and put 24 karat gold.
I can't believe they had that thing unlocked in there, and I was playing around with it.
Oh, that was a different setup one. But this one, 24 karat gold, it's in the case, it's locked up, fully functional, everything works. We made that for Skeet Reese. This year he was inducted to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. What an honor. I mean, that's legends. Now Kast King has 2 anglers in the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, him and Bill Dance. So we wanted to give him that. And we're also teamed up with the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. We're going to be auctioning these off, or they're available for purchase.
Cool.
And all of the money, all of it, will go to their outdoor conservation efforts.
Really, really cool. You guys are doing some awesome stuff, and Skeet just won a big tournament.
Yes, that was so amazing.
Yeah, the legends never die, you know.
And it was featured on your guys' site right there, the MG12, because that's what he was talking about.
Yeah, Skeet, just a phenomenal angler, and he's a California guy, so he's always been close to us, and we love seeing him win a big tournament. But Jose, thank you very much for giving us the breakdown on the new iReel 2.0.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. All right, we're back in the Lew's booth, and we're going to talk about the new generation of the Lew's Custom Pro Series reels. And we're with our buddy, Mr. Mark Menendez.
Thank you.
And man, these are probably some of the best looking reels I've ever seen come out of the Lew's lineup.
They're gorgeous. The tolerances on both the spinning reel and the casting reel are so tight, it makes these reels ultra, ultra smooth. This bait casting reel, the custom Pro Speed or casting reel, may be the absolute longest throwing reel that we have ever made.
And that new technology that's in the braking system just sounds phenomenal. And I know there's a sample floating around the office, and it might go missing, and we might go test it out and see what it does.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all.
Man, Luz is really stepping it up and really pushing the envelope of what you guys can really do with a casting reel. So I bet it's an absolute dream to fish with out there on tour. Have you been fishing it this year at all?
I've had a full day of fishing with it this past week. I'm amazed at how far I can throw a 5XD with it. The first fish I caught on it was a catfish that was about 15 pounds. So I immediately got to fight the fish with the drag, see if it could handle it. It has an ultra smooth paddle to it. I love the new shape of this paddle. That's always been a big feature of Luz, is the big paddle.
Mine as well. When I saw those new paddles, I was immediately a huge fan of those.
And it fits my hands very well. So very ergonomic, very stylish. The color is a new color that I've not seen in any other reel. So when I want to reach for it, I can find it immediately in my pile of rods and reels. Fantastic.
And with Luz, that one stands out for sure, because there's so many speed spools that have kind of a same color to it, and if you're just trying to look down and glance, this one definitely pops. But it's probably going to be difficult when you got 20, 25 of them on the deck.
Well, it's going to be worth having that many on the deck too. I promise you that.
And one thing I noted too, when I took this thing out of the box, I immediately noticed how light it was, because it's a aluminum frame, but it's got carbon fiber side plates. This thing is like a feather in your hand.
Lighter, faster, stronger has always been the moniker here at Luz, and we hit it right on the head.
I believe they dropped about a whole ounce and a half out of this reel just with those carbon fiber side plates. So I think it only comes in about just over 5 ounces. It's not. It doesn't weigh nothing. So definitely in the runnings for some of the lightest bait casters on the market, and a full-size bait caster at that. There's some lighter ones that are made for small stuff.
Correct.
But a full-size bulletproof bait caster that is that weight, that's insane.
Well, it also lends itself to real aggressive techniques. Flipping and pitching. You do that all day long with a big heavy jig or a big worm.
Every ounce counts at that point.
A big plug, a giant plug, a 10XD, a 8XD, a 6XD. That's aggressive fishing. The lighter, the better, and it certainly
you don't
helps
want that big 8-9 ounce reel when you're flipping all day. And having that light reel in your hand, it just makes you so much more efficient and more accurate. You're able to just pick off those targets so much more efficiently with that.
Absolutely.
So that's the casting reel, your Gen 3 custom pro casting reel, and then we got the spinning reel as well to go with it. So phenomenal spinning reel to add to the lineup.
It is, and it's got a skeletal design in it to make it lighter. You've got an ultra smooth drag system to it. And what I have noticed is that with the spool itself, the line just floats off there, and you don't get wind knots like you do with a lot of other spinning reels. So that is a major upgrade in a spinning reel.
It's everyone's pretty much. I think everyone's converted to braid to leader at this point. On your spinning applications.
Absolutely.
It's a must-have at this point, and it makes spinning rod fishing so much more enjoyable, without dealing with a bunch of wrapped up fluorocarbon and making a mess. So braid to a leader, definitely the way to go. And you guys thought about that, because everyone's putting braid on now, and you've got the braid band on the inside.
The little buffer in there.
Yeah, a little buffer. And so many people don't know that you need something like that. I don't know how many reels people have come into reels in the retail store when I used to run it and say, my drag's broken, or the drag on this thing doesn't work, and I grab it and I'm like, well, you didn't put
no backing in there.
You didn't know backing. You didn't put the braid on there right. And they don't understand that, if you're not thinking about what you're putting on the bottom of that spool, and if you go straight braided line, you can cause some issues. But Luz taking care of that for you, so no issues right out the gate. You don't have to put electrical tape or nothing down in there.
One other trend that we're seeing in the spinning rod market is no more anti-reverse.
Yeah, I didn't notice that either.
So that's new for this particular reel. I've always been that guy that has always back reeled, but the drag on this reel is so smooth, I don't have to worry about that anymore. I can just one tweak here, one tweak there, and I've got the fish underhand now. So, but that's a new trend in the spinning rod market.
That's really cool, and it's one less thing that can fail, and one less thing that you can't break on you, and then I know it's happened to everyone. You're shoving rods in the rod locker and you're messing stuff around. You flick that little switch and that thing just unwinds and makes a mess.
Exactly.
So eliminating that hassle. So the 2 new Lew's Custom Pros from Lew's.
Absolutely.
And guess what? We're back in the Daiwa booth again. So we're going to talk about the new Tatula SVTW100 and the new Tatula SVTW150. So brand new Tatula series that came out this year at ICAST. So we've done a full interview with the guys over from Daiwa, Takeshi, the R&D designer from Japan, who really is the one who's done all the back end work and designing these reels. So the new Tatula 100 going to be a staple in the bass fishing arsenal, and a super compact, low profile, and it's got the Tatula SV Boost spool in it, which is super, super cool. If you haven't tried any of the Daiwa reels with the SV Boost system, it's pretty amazing. I've been fortunate enough to own a couple of them myself, and you can absolutely cast a mile with these reels. And the braking adjustment that it does itself in the middle of the cast, so the spool, there's an electromagnetic brake system on the inside that fine-tunes the spool speed as your lures flying through the air, which is insane. And I've absolutely made bomber cast and just let go of the reel and let it do its thing, and the bait lands, you don't get any backlash. So it's amazing technology in the new 100 size of the SVTW Tatula. And the other one is the SVTW 150. Now this one is another one that I'm really pumped about. This one has got the SV spool in it, which is the I believe it's a 7075 aluminum spool. So it's the more old school SV spool, which is not really old school, it's new technology, but it's not the SV Boost system. So with this one, they've really geared this one towards bigger line. It does well with monofilament and fluorocarbon, but they've really tuned this thing to do exceptionally well with braid. So 65-pound braid, 50, 60, 80-pound braid. You can throw this stuff really far. So if you're looking for a frog reel, flip in, pitching, this is going to be one you want to check out. And that frame on there, I really like. It's kind of a throwback to the old Zillion series. If you're familiar with any of the older Zillions, it has that kind of look and finish to it, which I like a lot. And it is rock solid aluminum construction, but bigger handle on it. So I believe it's a 95 or 100 millimeter handle and bigger knob, so you get tons of cranking power. And that is the new SVTW 150 from Daiwa. Hey guys, I'm in the Abu Garcia booth with Andrew Wheeler, the guy I wanted to talk to, because I'm a fish dork and I want to know the inside scoop on the technologies and all the stuff that really goes into these new reels. So from Abu Garcia, a couple new exciting additions that they've came out with is the Abu Garcia, the Revo Premier, and the Revo X BFS.
Yep.
All right, so let's talk about the Revo Premier fish, which has been a staple, is the 5th generation.
Yes, it is.
5th generation, and every single one of them has been awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you guys are proud of that one.
Yeah, so the new Premier, it kind of fits between our STX family and our Xenon X family. So it comes in at 6.6 ounces. You get 20 pounds of drag out of this, so it has a carbon matrix drag. You still get the drag clicker like you do in the Xenon,
which is cool,
which everyone loves.
Yeah.
But you also now have the what I like to call our slab of carbon for the handle.
Yeah. And I know that came out, I believe it was last year on the Rocket.
Yeah.
And was that the only reel it came out on? Yeah. And I was like, this is the best handle. I love that giant carbon handle and those giant knobs on there. Just tons of power.
Tons of power. So, we've done that with all the Revo lineup, and you can see they're just so comfortable to use.
Yeah.
And then, we've lightened the spool up here, a lot of obviously holes in it, but just taking the weight out of that spool, you take 10% of the weight out of the spool, really helps the casting distance of the reels too.
Yep.
And then that combined with our IVCV system, for the braking system, it's really easily adjustable, but gives you so much casting distance.
That's really cool. So that's going to be the new Revo Premier. And then one that there's been a lot of buzz around our office and some of the other guys we've done interviews with is the new BFS X Reel.
Yep. So, BFS is obviously becoming a bit of a thing.
Yeah.
A lot of them are pretty expensive.
Yeah.
So we decided to try and do one in our X model for the Revos, and we actually borrowed. We're actually doing a similar program for our Japanese business, and so we borrowed a lot of that technology, and we're able to slot it into this BFS reel, and offer it at a great price point. We've got a couple of rods in the Veritas lineup to match up to it as well.
Yeah, we just checked those out, and those are phenomenal rods. But that's cool. You're taking some of the stuff from your JDM lineup, sliding it right into here.
So you'll see the key is the spool. Obviously, you got a shallow spool. It's about 10 to 15% lighter than the regular kind of spool that we have in a Revo X.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about, is that getting that spool weight down and then using those magnetic brakes to really tweak the casting. So you'll be able to throw those ultra lightweight baits.
Yep. And something else that we wanted to tease is Tackle Warehouse has got a new TW exclusive reel coming out in the fall. And me and Joe were talking about it earlier. I think we've been working on that for 2 years. And last year at ICAST, you guys brought the very first one for us to check out.
We did.
So last year, we didn't have a picture of it. You guys showed us the very first one that we made, and we've made a bunch of tweaks and adjustments since then. And we just got the very first one that was ever made. And so we're gonna put a shot of it in there. Daniel's gonna, we got it back at our hotel, and we're gonna take a little image of it and throw it in there. But available in the fall, exciting new partnership with Abu Garcia that we can't be more stoked about.
Yeah, we're really excited. It's obviously when we get to develop with some of our great customers, it's always fun.
Yeah, it's been a super fun project. We can't wait to release it, so stay tuned for the fall. And that's gonna wrap up Abu Garcia for this year at ICAST 2024. So back in the Shimano booth with my buddy JP again, but now we're going to talk about a couple of reels and probably something that I think most people are pretty excited about, including most people in our office, is the new Vanford series.
Yep.
So let's talk about it. Let's give us the rundown of what's going on.
All right,
inside
this
it.
little beauty here. So everybody come to love Vanford. Before that, everybody loved the Stratic CI4. It's really one and the same with a rebrand, right? So the new upgrades on this one, how did they make this reel better? Which I felt was going to be pretty tough to do after the last generation.
I think we all thought the same thing.
All right, so we always talk trickle down with Shimano. Trickle down technology. When Stella sets the bar, that stuff is going to trickle down. Well, here's Vanford's turn. Infinity drive. So the drive shaft, the spool shaft, runs through the pinion gear rather than being supported by it. That gives you more winding torque under load.
Yep.
It also has the Infinity Cross gear, so same gear as Stella. So it is that micro module, cold forged aluminum drive gear, but it's got the newest tooth pattern that they're spreading the load more evenly across the entire tooth. That gives you more longevity, more smoothness, more power. This one also has the anti-twist fin. So again, everybody's getting into the moping, strolling, Demiki rigging, shaky heading, drop shotting, all those techniques where your line is, your rod's up and you get slack and you're shaking.
Yeah.
That gives an opportunity for the line to fall out of that roller.
Yeah.
Right? And then, you don't notice it. You go to set the hook, your bail pops.
Yep.
We've all done it.
Oh, yeah.
Anti-twist fin kind of helps to keep that line up, tucked up against the roller. And then it also has the Duracross drag. So traditionally, with all of our reels, it has been 2,500 and under are felt drag washers, and 3,000 and up are cross carbon drag washers, because typically we use bigger reels for harder pulling fish.
Yep.
Well, in this instance, the Duracross drag washer is a woven carbon fiber, gives you the smoothness of felt, the durability of carbon fiber. It's actually 10 times more durable than a felt drag washer.
So you're getting really the best of both worlds, because I mean,
Exactly.
if you know anything about a Shimano drag, it's smooth. But now you're getting that smoothness and the durability in it.
Exactly. So that's the big thing here. The size is a little bit of a shift this year. 500 is still available, which is a little tiny.
Yeah, we saw that one earlier.
Little
we love
tiny baby.
that little guy.
Here's a 2,500. There's a 500. So there is a 500 available. They no longer have the 1,000. They have a 2,000, which is the 1,000 body with a bigger, deeper cut spool, more line capacity. 2,500, 3,000, 4,000, and 5,000.
So got a huge range.
Huge range. And then the drags, because the drag washers changed, doesn't mean you're going to expect anything different in performance from Shimano. 6 pounds of drag on that little one, 7 on the 2,000, 20 on both the 2,500 and 3,000, 24 pounds on the 3 and 4,000, 4 and 5,000.
It's so much power available, but you're never going to get to that point, because I mean, you fish bluefin tuna on 20 pounds of drag, and you're never going to put that kind of pressure on there.
That little reel has 11 pounds of drag. Does anybody strip a Shimano bait cast reel for drag?
No, they do not. And you have all that drag power, but what other people don't think about is, yeah, you have all that power, but you're not redlining your reel all the time. It's just you're not running that thing at max RPM. So yeah, it's on there, but it just gives you a better working range to deal with.
Right.
So,
and the thing that really separates Vanford from everything else would be the MGL rotor.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to see a lot of push for Shimano going after that MGL fast start, fast stop. You take this reel, you spin it. It's real easy to stop because it doesn't have a lot of inertia in that.
Yeah, there's not a lot of mass in that rotor.
There's no mass, so it starts up easy. So start fast, stop fast.
It is near effortless when you go to spin that thing, and I can't stress enough. You're gonna have to get one in your hand to fight it out yourself. But how smooth that reel is, it's incredible. And the new Vanford series, I think everyone is super, super happy about it.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure there's already a few pre-orders sitting in our office of guys waiting for it to come in, including myself. I'm super stoked to get my hands on one when they finally come in.
Well, and the best part is they didn't even raise the price, $229 and $249.
So now you're getting a bunch of technologies trickled all the way down from Stella, and you're not paying any more extra dollars for it.
You got it.
So I mean, pretty hard to beat the new Vanford, but also got another new casting reel, the new XT. Now I have an XT, and you know the last generation of, and I'm super happy with it. And I know there's been some more upgrades, more trickling down. There's been some more upgrades to this
Technically one. So there's one trickle down in this reel. And guys, listen, there's a thing. And I noticed this when SLX-A was reintroduced, so they redid SLX. And they added Silent Tune. That was the one technology they added, and they did the same thing here. They added Silent Tune. So Silent Tune is basically, they've put two little rubber rings on either side of the spool shaft that reduces that vibration side to side at high speeds.
Yeah.
So reeling and casting, it quiets down the spool and stops that vibration. The best part is people were complaining that that was the only upgrade they got in SLX. SLX is a great reel.
Yeah.
And the price is still $129.99.
You're just getting you're getting more performance, and you're not paying the extra.
It's a little bit better. It's got a nicer look, in my opinion, than the original one. It still has SVS Infinity, so you can adjust your braking from the outside. Still has an S3D spool. Still has a Super Free spool, and still has a Hagane body.
So like I said, I've been super happy with it. I had no complaints.
You should be happier now.
Yeah, so even more happy. So, and already a great performing reel at a phenomenal price point. That is, again, it's another reel that's really hard to beat in that category itself. And now it's just a little bit better.
Right.
So, again, great stuff from Shimano this year. All available for pre-order. You can head on over to tacklewarehouse.com. JP, thanks again for taking the time and giving us the rundown so we actually know what's going on.
There you have it.
All right, thanks. All right, we're at the Bates reel, and admittedly, this is probably one of the booths that I've been most pumped to come to. So I'm with Kevin here from Bates Reels, and he's going to give us a rundown on some of this new Bates stuff. But first, we're going to do something just to kind of set the stage for one of the other reels. So go ahead, we'll drum roll it.
All right, we're going to spin one of our spools with ceramic bearings and see where it ends by the time we're done having conversation.
So we're going to let it go. Now, let's give us the rundown on this reel.
Okay, so this is the LTS, and the LTS is light tackle systems. We know that BFS guys are all into having a really thin wiffle spool, so it comes with stainless steel bearings, and it has an amazing, really nice free spool to it. Anything under a quarter ounce, this is going to be beautiful. So
that's a phenomenal reel, and look, still going. I don't know how many seconds we're into that thing, but I mean, what I was saying off camera.
Still going.
These reels are built like an absolute tank, even though it's all aluminum metal construction, but it doesn't feel like that. It's super light in your hand.
Absolutely.
And this thing is awesome. And if you've never checked out Bates reels, just in general, this is what they start from, which I think is so cool. I mean, they're not messing around. These things start from, was it 6061?
We use billet 6061 T6 aluminum right here.
And this is where they start at. So that reel starts from this block, and they eventually, machine these things down on, 9-axis CNC machine?
Yep.
And what I love, too, is you guys don't polish up some of those machine marks on there.
Yeah.
So this thing is made out of a CNC machine, and it starts as that one solid block of aluminum.
It's honestly, people may not realize how difficult this is, but it's a pretty difficult thing to do, and every one of these reels is a piece of art, so we don't mass produce like tons and thousands of them. Everyone is very selectively made.
Yeah.
They're anodized individually, and it's just a beautiful piece of work, so we're very proud of it, and we show that with the mill marks.
Yeah, I mean, phenomenal reels. Now they got a new offering into the bait finesse market, which is really cool. But I mean, they have a whole line of reels, and if you're looking for anything, they've got them covered from swim bait reels all the way down to your BFS reels. So they've got the whole range covered. So if you want to check out any of this stuff, we have all the baits reels over at tacklewarehouse.com. You can check them all out.
You can get them today.
Yeah, you can. You can get them today. They're in stock right now. So thanks for tuning in, and we think we got one more booth to wrap up the reel category video. So we're finishing up our reel category video at the Okuma booth with this new X Series spinning reel. Now, I'm with John Bretza, and I saw this reel in the Best of Show showcase this morning, and that's the first time I actually got to see one, and I could say the pictures do not do this thing justice. So you guys have built a pretty little reel here, but it does feel like it's built quite like a tank.
Yeah.
So let's give us the rundown on what you guys did with this new spinning reel.
Pretty amazing. Just like you said,
Yeah.
the photos don't serve it justice.
No, they do not.
First thing you got to do is pick it up.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I mean,
Starts at 7 ounces.
It's light as it all can be, but like you can't stress enough. It's so hard to get a reel that's light, but feels as strong as this thing.
So what you just said is the key. So we offer 3 sizes, 2,500, 3,000, and 4,000. So it's a crossover reel. So perfect reel for any tournament bass fishing, freshwater fishing. But we built it so it could also be used for heavy duty inshore fishing.
Yep.
And so what you just said about how it's built and constructed, but it's lightweight. So the reel stem is aluminum.
Yep.
So usually a reel that's 7 ounces is going to be injected carbon or graphite, right, to get the weight down.
You're not going to have an aluminum reel stem on here, but I mean, you can feel that thing is not going to twist or torque on you when you're in those inshore. When you're in those inshore applications and you're really putting a heavy load on this reel, it's not going to twist on you.
So we managed to put an aluminum reel stem on here. So the body's aluminum, so it's not going to be flexing. It's going to be stiff and rigid.
Yeah.
But then the side plate and the rotor are injected carbon fiber. That's our C40X. So that's how we help reduce the weight. But as you turn the handle, not only is it lightweight, it's super butter smooth,
So
right?
you've reduced a lot of that mass that's in that rotor, and it doesn't take anything to start getting this thing to spin. But you're right, it is crazy buttery smooth, but it is just a dream to reel.
So the one thing you'll notice is right on the side, you'll see there's some printing there. It says CNC machine cut.
Yeah.
So this is machined aluminum on a CNC machine. You don't see that in a spinning reel in the market.
No.
So not only is it aluminum, but the gears are also anodized. So super precision. So if you do want to take your freshwater reel into saltwater, fully anodized, going to be no problem.
So all the gears and everything are anodized, so you're not going to have to worry about any kind of corrosion,
Correct.
building up on them.
Correct. And so we also eliminated at the bottom the on-off selector. So where you turn the on and reverse so you can back reel.
Yep.
Nobody's really back reeling these
I've
days.
seen that more than once this year. Everyone's getting rid of that, which I think is awesome, and especially on a reel that you're going to be doing. You're going to be maybe doing some bass fishing with, but maybe you go out in the salt and chase after calicos on the West Coast, or you go chase redfish. You're not going to need that thing on there, and it's just one more fail point and something you don't really need. When we have such a smooth drag now, you don't need that.
So what's important is that you mentioned about the saltwater aspect. It's one less area for saltwater to get in, but for the freshwater guys, you don't want your anti-reverse to go out, and so by not having that selector, your anti-reverse is always engaged. So that means the anti-reverse is going to be more durable. Because you don't have a spring turning it off and on all the time.
Just eliminating that fail point, so you're never going to lose your anti-reverse.
And then you mentioned the drag system. So it's all carbon fiber. Some reels in this range might have felt washers on some of the smaller sizes. This is all carbon, and depending on the reel, generates from 22 to 24 pounds of drag.
Tons of drag power.
A lot of drag, so it's going to stop anything you're fighting on this size reel. And then for the smoothness, it's an 11 bearing system. So you got 10 stainless bearings plus a roller bearing for the quick set and reverse.
And what's the price point on this new X Series reel?
So it starts at $219.
So a phenomenal price point for this is a high performance reel.
Yeah.
And I feel like on this one in particular, you're getting a ton of bang for the buck on this one. And one that you can do multi-species applications with.
Exactly.
So really cool reel, joining the X Series family. So you guys came out with that X Series reel, I believe it was last year or the year before, if I'm getting it right. But so now you got a spinning reel to add to that lineup as well.
Tremendous, that whole X Series family now, baitcast to spinning.
Yeah.
You have just tremendous performing product for the price point.
Okuma really stepping the bar up in performance. Really cool to see. And these should be available soon, any day now. I forgot what the pre-order date is on these at Tackle Warehouse, but they should be here soon. If you guys want to take advantage of these new reels, here are these new Okuma spinning reels, the X series, a phenomenal new spinning reel from Okuma. That's going to wrap up the reel category of our videos for this year's ICAST 2024 series. Stay tuned, because tomorrow we're going to be right back at it again, but we're going to be covering forward-facing sonar baits. We're going to do a whole segment on just swim baits, and we're going to run around to all kinds of booths on the outskirts and try to cover a bunch of JDM and international baits as well. So stay tuned to the Tackle Warehouse 2024 ICAST coverage.